All right, we have our next panel coming up before our first break of the day, and this is us diving into the world of knowledge creators and how the industry is being impacted by them and what we're currently seeing in terms of how they are differentiating themselves from perhaps the typical way you think about a creator, like Mr. Beast or something like that, but we'll be diving into something a little bit more unique. We're going to be kicking off our round of programming for the rest of the day, which is going to be very exciting. So please join me in welcoming up our next panel, Jack Appleby, Kaya Yurieff, Olivia Owens, and Oksana Kravchenko. So great to see everybody. Thank you for being here for our first panel. We're diving into, obviously, the topic that we just reviewed and that Gianno dove into on knowledge creators. But I want to start from each of you. You're all coming from unique point of views. I want you all to first introduce yourselves to kind of share that point of view. Then I do want to kick off the first question about kind of who is a creator? What's the unique thing you've learned from a creator yourself? If Olivia, you want to give an introduction on you and answer that question?
Sure. So Olivia, head of partnerships here at Teachable. I consistently learn from creators. To be honest, the biggest thing that I've learned from creators is boundaries. I am obsessed with how you guys have a very clear understanding of what you want to do and what you don't want to do, and you will not compromise. And I think we need more of that energy. So that is what I have learned from creators.
Amazing. I love that. All right, Oksana.
Hi everyone, my name is Oksana. I'm the head of creative partnerships at ManyChat. Very excited to be here and share more about ManyChat. And I constantly learn something from creators. I think my most common skill that I learn is to just chat new ChatGPT prompts on how to organize my wardrobe and style. I don't know, you can upload mood boards and request for links. That was super helpful. Try it. Highly recommend. So yeah, that's recent finding.
That's very cool. So you upload a mood board.
Yeah. So
and ask for links to.
Yeah. So I uploaded what I have in my wardrobe, then some Pinterest photos, and said, hey, let me know what's missing and send me links to those products.
All right. All right. That's all I need to learn. Amazing. Well, welcome, Kaya.
Hi, I'm Kaya Yurieff. I've been a journalist for 10 years. I write a newsletter at the tech publication The Information about the business side of the creator economy with 100,000 subscribers. Very exciting.
Congratulations. That's huge. Woo.
And two things, a silly one and a serious one. I think just don't be afraid to start. I think a lot of people don't know where to start and are very precious about content. And I think creators have really shown me to just kind of put out there and iterate and not worry about it being perfect. And then a creator, I was at a conference, I got to cover the first White House Creator Economy Summit under the Biden administration, and Joe Biden came out and I was trying to take like a good video of him, and a creator was like, you have to change the frames per second. Like, what are you doing? So now I know how to do that on my phone, and then another creator was like, no, do it on this setting. So then they were arguing about which one. So I guess the jury's still out on which one, but now I know how to do that for a smoother video. So.
That's great. Amazing. That's a good one to learn. Jack?
Hi friends, I'm Jack Appleby. I write the newsletter Future Social that teaches marketers about social media strategy, brand strategy, and creator strategy. I'm a LinkedIn content creator, and then about 2 years ago for fun, I actually became a basketball creator on Instagram and TikTok, where I'm documenting my adult basketball comeback as How to Win Forever. So I'm now a dual creator business, and neither audience really knows about the other one, which is a weird part of me being on the internet. That kind of just leads into what I've learned from creators, like just go make things, like just keep trying different things and you'd be amazed that there's an audience for everything.
I love that. That's really great. Which segues into my first question. Talk about this term knowledge creators, right? There's a lot of buzzwords in the creator economy. I want to kind of dive into, from each of your perspectives, what differentiates knowledge creator from content creator, and why is this distinction important, or maybe not so important? If Jack, you, as someone who I consider a knowledge creator, has any spicy takes on that thought?
I think the distinction, when we think about it from like a content perspective, like we know if we're scrolling the feed and someone's trying to teach us something, whether it's like how to bake sourdough or like how to build like a Zapier file or something, versus someone who's doing a dance who's trying to entertain us. I don't know if it's worth like us really be like, oh, well, this is one or this is the other. I think most creators have something to teach, and most creators can actually make like teachable, both this and like actual teachable products for themselves. So really at the end of the day, it's always like, are you providing value is the real question, whether you're doing entertainment content or educational content.
Interesting. Kyle, what have you been seeing in the industry, and especially maybe like misconceptions around who's a knowledge creator and some examples of folks who are crushing it in that space?
I think even the word creator now is so vague, right? Like everyone is like, I'm a creator, even though I'm full-time salary. I have an audience, I have a newsletter, I have my own personal following on LinkedIn. So I think the lines are blurring with everything. But I think in general, when you kind of hear a knowledge creator, you think like more of like a teacher, right? Like they have a course, they're teaching you Spanish, they're teaching you about personal finance. But I think the definition is so much broader. Like travel creators are definitely knowledge creators. So I think anyone who's teaching you something, whether it's how to pack more effectively or whether it's, you know, how to make sourdough, anyone can kind of be a knowledge creator. But there are definitely creators who are just pure entertainment, and then they don't really fall into that category. But I do think the lines are blurring a lot.
Interesting. We talked previously, you brought up like Mark Rover, the YouTuber, kind of this element of blending education and entertainment. Are there any other examples that kind of come to mind? Because Mark's doing kind of a subscription service type of product.
Yeah, Mark is an interesting one. I mean, he is really fascinating. He's a former Apple and NASA engineer, and he's one of the biggest YouTubers now, and he sells a STEM box for kids and adults in the mail. And I think his YouTube videos are super interesting and entertaining, but also educational. I think Hank Green is another really great example, like very OG creator who also, is great on TikTok now. So I think there's a lot. I mean, Mel Robbins, I don't know if the let them theory is all over your Instagram, but I think she's such a fascinating example because she's really more of a traditional motivational speaker. But now she's parlayed that into a book and a podcast, and she has such a smart short-form video strategy, I think, with what she's teaching you, and it's just wellness.
And the reverse is happening now, right? Like James Clear in Atomic Habits, or like Mark Manson in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Like they were book writers who then became fairly large content creators based on the ideology behind their books. Like it can work both ways. Like everyone's just becoming a knowledge creator now.
Yeah, I don't think it matters how you start. It just matters how you operate. If you operate as a creator now.
Super interesting. Oksana, any thoughts on that? What you guys see at ManyChat, the types of creators that you are partnering with? Are they considering themselves a particular subset of creator?
Amazing question. So, who doesn't know, ManyChat is an automation platform. We are approved by Meta, over 1.5 million users, mostly creators, and we see that 60% of our users are infopreneurs. That's how we call them. Basically, knowledge creators, educators, coaches. And what we've seen lately is that if several years ago, knowledge creators were mostly people with huge audiences and experts, right now almost everyone in different niches and with any size of audiences, creating digital products, educate the audience, and monetize their knowledge. And that's a big shift, and that's amazing to see that even travel creators with small audience can create a travel guide. We have an example of creator who created New Zealand travel guide for $39, and she made 6 figures out of that. It's not a course.
Right.
It's just travel guide. So a lot of examples like that.
That's amazing. I love that. In my Uber here, my Lyft here.
What did you actually do? Oh, good.
Sorry, Lyft. The driver, I was telling him where we're headed and what it's about, and he was saying that he's been creating content, like touristy content, for folks back in India and in Pakistan, in certain areas. I thought that's so cool that here's this Uber driver. I'm like, you're a knowledge creator. Like you're creating this knowledge content because you're exploring New York City, you're driving around here, and so I just thought that that's so interesting that really, it kind of proves case in point that element. I'm curious, how many people here would consider themselves a knowledge creator? Okay, that's great. How many people feel confused when it comes to titles in the creator economy? I guess all hands, really. That's great. Olivia, in terms of what you're seeing at Teachable, I'm curious about that, but I do want to transition to another question. What types of things are these creators creating? Because when we think of Teachable, or maybe we think of knowledge creators, you're like course. Oksana just talked about, a guide or, a planner. What are we seeing on that front in addition to kind of the creator identity?
Yeah, I think A lot of the conversation that I have with creators today is around longevity and sustainability. I think as an entertainment creator, so often your content is of the moment and it's not evergreen, it's not long lasting. I think the beauty of educational content is that it can maintain in relevancy and impact. So as you're developing this content, putting all of your energy into it, it's something that's going to continue to work for you and work for your community as they find you. I think in terms of the types of products that are being created, I mean, it runs the gamut. However your community wants to engage with you, learn from you, that can absolutely be through a video course. That could be through a templated financial Excel sheet that you create, or that could be through a downloadable template that they can use, or ChatGPT prompts. Like, you can get really creative with how you want to teach and engage with your community. You can co-create that together. One of the creators that we did a mastermind yesterday with some of our top creators, and one shared that he started doing kind of like live work with me sessions with the students where they just wanted to watch him do the work. He teaches SQL. And so again, you can get really creative. There's not one way to do this. And I think it's most fun when you're able to co-create that with your audience.
Super cool. All right, so there's this element of cringe in this space, like knowledge creators, courses. It sometimes gets a bad rap online. Jack, you're someone who great transition. You're someone who really cringe. Speaking of cringe people, you are someone who for a while
You're getting deeper and deeper.
cringe. It's the case in point. You created a course, an educational product, and I know that that came from an element of hesitancy. And so I'm curious, like, how people are overcoming that, and from your colleagues and co-creators in the space, how are you seeing people kind of redefine this cringe element of knowledge creation?
Sure. Yeah. No, thanks for that. No, I mean, the cringe part is something I really dealt with a lot throughout my career. So I spent 15 years working at ad agencies, led social for Beats by Dre, Verizon, Microsoft. And I started developing my personal brand. The word creator didn't really exist. I was building a personal brand with no aspirations to be a content creator. It was just so I could get more jobs. Like, I just wanted to impress future bosses and beat the interview process. Half of my bosses really loved it. Half of them really hated it. Like, what is he doing? But then later in my career, when I brought in literally $1 million worth of work from Twitter DMs, what my agency was like, oh, we don't care how cringy you are on Twitter. This is actually fine with us. So like for me, a lot of it was just like reminding myself of the real results that I was getting from doing this stuff, and just trying to remind myself that a lot of the feedback I was getting from people, either, being really honest, didn't have lives that I fully admired or aspired to myself, or people who were really uncomfortable putting themselves out there. Like, that ended up evolving into like you said, like I wasn't, building a course was not on my radar. Like, I always joke, like Olivia had the longest con ever to get me to build my course. And that's because I had a small product that Olivia subscribed to, and then I spoke at a Teachable event, and then I worked with the Teachable team to build something. So I built a course on, I call it the personal social strategy. It's to help people do their first personal branding. And then in 30 days, I made 50 grand off pre-sales, which like off of these 10 LinkedIn posts and 2 newsletter ads for my own stuff. Like, oh, like people want this stuff, and you can charge for it because they want to lean in. Like, it's not cringy. Like, people just want to get better at things.
That's interesting. Olivia, I want to turn it back to you. What else are you seeing with folks in Jack's situation with those elements?
Cringy situation.
Yeah, the cringe.
The cringe. I think the cringe is real. I think putting yourself out there is vulnerable, and you're afraid of what people might think. I talk to content creators all of the time who overthink what it takes to add value to their community, especially when it comes to educational products. To Jack's point, like, there is the portion of your audience that really loves engaging with your social content. Then there's a portion of your audience that wants to go to your newsletter because they want that kind of like repetitive check-in where you're going a little bit deeper with them. There's also a portion of your audience that wants to pay you and invest in you because of the value that you've added for them. Are any of you familiar with Jay Klaus? Content creator, creator science. So I am obsessed with Jay. Last year, he sold a $247 Notion template. I bought it. I bought it because anything Jay created, I knew he was going to build it with such intention and with such thought, because that's how he shows up in his content. And also, I was really excited to put money in Jay's pocket because of how much free value he's delivered to me over the years. So I think transforming the way you think about asking for money or selling to your audience is going to open up so much opportunity for you. And then I also think it also allows you to prioritize building your own personal brand versus consistently having to push somebody else's.
Oksana, at ManyChat, and as a user of it as well, how are you seeing with creators monetizing their audiences through whatever it is that they're promoting? Or what is it that they tend to be promoting? Because is there any ManyChat users here? Oh my God, amazing. I know some are using it for digital products, some are using it like for like travel guides. What else are you seeing in like the money that's being made through things like that in education space?
Yeah, honestly, everything that you can think about. People share everything they have to offer, but very often they even start with building an email list and collecting leads. And sometimes I see creators start building email lists even before they have a real offer, before they have a course, because especially with TikTok ban and everything that's going on with social media, algorithm change, people like to have their audience on email still. So that's first, collecting leads, building email list. Inside ManyChat, people even categorize leads. You can ask questions to better understand your audience. And then from there, everything, delivering guides for free, delivering offer for free, sometimes collecting leads. When you deliver something for free, and again, any offer you can think about, any digital product, everything through automation. Comment the word, I will send you the link. That can be follow-up message. You can deliver free guide and then follow up with the paid course. So inside DMs, there is also options to build marketing funnel that will work the best in your case. But you can provide anything.
Yeah, it's great because when I think about knowledge creators, there's this element. We were at this mastermind yesterday. Just the passive income that comes from like if you're making money while you sleep, you have an evergreen product or something, and that's knowledge creators are doing great. We think about Mark Rober. I mean, he doesn't need to post, and he'll still be perhaps selling all his subscriptions and just making a lot of money doing that. Newsletters, huge thing. We all have newsletters. Kaya, I'm curious on your end how you have found the newsletter serving as a successful medium for knowledge creators. I know you're a traditional reporter to an extent, but I also consider you someone who is a knowledge creator and sharing, stuff around the industry. How has newsletters supported you, and what else are you seeing in the space with that medium?
Yeah. I mean, I think newsletters are great because we're so inundated with information. And even though our email inboxes can be a little crazy sometimes, newsletters become sort of a habit, right? Because they're coming regularly. Mine comes Tuesday through Thursday at a specific time every day. And it's become this habit for readers. And it also keeps me top of mind for people because I'm in their inbox. And it's a different way to build a parasocial relationship with people. I think it's also a different format too. I mean, if you're a video creator, it's just a kind of different creative outlet to write and give. I think Emily Mariko did this after her salmon rice went viral. She started a newsletter on Substack with meal prep and basically was like, these are all the ingredients that I'm buying and here's meal prep for the week. Like that's such a creative, interesting way. And then it's another service for advertising and for other monetization. So I think it's a really interesting kind of medium that's so different. And then again, table stakes for newsletter platforms except LinkedIn is that you collect the emails, and then you can start kind of owning your audience.
Emily Mariko's a great example. Anyone remember Emily Mariko and that her salmon rice and was eating that for a while? But she's a prime example of like she capitalized on her rise. Get a newsletter where she was capturing everyone who was seeing her stuff. I don't see her stuff anymore on my feed, but here she is with a really strong email list, and it's probably brought hopefully one of her main revenue drivers. But even her, like she, not someone you would consider a knowledge creator, but here she is talking about these amazing recipes and lifestyle elements. Jack, for you, how have you seen newsletters or other tools in this space serving knowledge creators like yourself and helping to kind of elevate that side of your business?
I mean, that is my business. That's my primary outlet is the newsletter. Like I have LinkedIn and other platforms, but I have 75,000 newsletter subs and a 40% open rate. Like that is the place where I sell my ads, I do my branded content. Like that is my strongest outlet. For me, it was a real game changer. Like I got my start as a Twitter creator, linking 30 tweet threads on brand case studies. So for me, I was like, oh, I can just write long form somewhere and it like looks pretty and it has pictures within it. I can actually teach something. It was just a complete game changer for me. And I think that one of the differentiators for me has been, I treat every single newsletter I write as a lead magnet. Like every newsletter I write has to be something that's highly, highly shareable that's going to influence the industry. I do very little news. I do very little real time. It tries to either be big conceptual or big case study. And I think if you approach a knowledge product that way, where it's like, how am I making a piece of content that everybody who either follows me or is the industry I'm trying to attract, like it becomes an essential thing. That's how you then are like building your like mind space within them where they keep coming back to you for more and more.
It's interesting. How many people here have a newsletter of some sort? How many people have been thinking about it, looking to launch one? All right, we'll just fill up the whole room. That's great. So a lot of creators in the audience here, even including myself for a while, might not realize that they have something to teach, that they have something to kind of put out there to the world. Olivia, I want to turn it back to you. How can creators that are here today at this conference and throughout the day start to think and recognize the areas in which they have something to teach? Because deep down in all of us, we have something unique to share. Tim will be talking also a lot about that during the keynote. But what's an exercise that can be done?
Yeah, I think there are two angles I would approach this from. The first one being asking your audience what they want to learn from you or how they want to connect more deeply with you. Monique on my team leads onboarding, and one of the first things she does with our creators is have them send a survey to their audience to get the insight, and then you're able to use that information to help navigate you. I think the other piece of it is like taking a step back and thinking about the unique intersection points of your own identity. So I was talking to a creator last night who wants to create content in the personal brand space, but that feels very oversaturated, right? So I was like, okay, what were you doing before you got into this? And she was like, well, I was a corporate girly, and then I was able to kind of build a personal brand, start making money out of brand deals. And I was like, okay, well, corporate girlies need to build personal brands. If you were able to lean into that and speak to that audience through building a personal brand, whether you want to grow in your career or you want to step out and start to be a creator yourself, that's your lens that you can bring a unique perspective to. So I think the combination of like your own unique identity with what the community you've already built wants to learn from you is going to be kind of your path for a knowledge product.
The knowledge product you build should not be a how to be a creator product. It is like
Let's do well though.
they do and they do and they don't. I've seen
Yeah.
friends like really
Some
flop
people's
this.
friends
Like
like that.
I know like all the data is like every kid ever wants to be a content creator. No one wants to be a firefighter anymore. They want to be content creators. Like your followers, unless you're making content about content creation, they are following you for whatever the subject matter is they're following you for. Build something based on that. Do not sell them a here's how I became a content creator thing, because it's going to apply to a much smaller part of your audience than you realize.
Yeah, okay, so you're saying, what you are creating a knowledge product out of needs to have that value prop alignment to what you talk about. And so if you're a day-in-the-life person talking, maybe heading to the gym a lot, it's like, and you're known for going to the gym, it's like creating a course or knowledge product around fitness or the gym, something that your audience follows you for.
Travel creators have come up a lot today already. Like the number of travel creators who I've like consulted for, they're like, and I'm teaching my how to be a travel creator course. I'm like, no, travel guides, like teach people how to go to the places, like build those kind of things, build a bunch of mini products, build larger products about how to live like a lifestyle based on travel. Don't just teach them how to use a camera. That's not what they're actually looking for.
I would add too, I just recently spoke with this creator who's in the UK, Maddie Borge, and she sort of started with general lifestyle, and then she started traveling and solo backpacking, and she was really good at packing effectively. And so she started noticing that and she didn't spend a lot of time in her YouTube videos, but her audience was saying like, oh, we want more packing videos, like so then she started doing that. And that actually translated to her earlier this month launching her own packing cubes consumer product. So that's not a knowledge product, but it's something that came out of her content. And I would totally consider her a knowledge creator as a travel creator. So there's different ways via consumer products also that you can kind of capitalize on your strengths.
I also think there's power in the niches. Like the creators that we work with at Teachable, some are teaching people like how to become a pilot. Some are teaching people DIY crafting, sewing mastery. So again, think more broadly about your identity and the unique niche that you can bring to the table. And there's going to be so much opportunity for you there because like that's what your audience wants to connect to. That's what they want to learn more about.
Are there anything you guys are seeing on just like niches that are particularly doing well in the space? Oksana, anything you're seeing with on your end in the industry?
It's hard to say. I mean, every niche is very unique. I agree 100%. That's what I wanted to say, that I really like how people find really interesting niche. Like plant lovers, RV travelers, something else. I see so many unique things. Very often creators try to go generic, but that's not the case. Sometimes you better go really specific. And yeah, too many niches to say this performs well or this is not. I work a lot with marketers, IG growth, marketers, tools, AI tools. That's my world, and I see that works still amazing. And especially in AI, I think we have a lot of creators covering AI topic, but not everyone can explain AI to not tech-savvy people. Even everyone in the audience still, we all really tech-savvy. We need to understand that there are so many people in the world who are not. And AI to them is really complicated something. And to explain it in very simple words, simple prompts, use cases maybe for older generation, that's something that is needed, I think.
That's super interesting. Again, Tim is gonna, not to steal his show, but diving into those elements of finding that unique niche of yours, where there's a lot of AI creators out there, maybe a lot of AI products out there, but the one that's maybe doing better, sure, there's marketing behind it, but also maybe people enjoy that course more because the creator behind it is a unique personality or has a unique story that's really strong. Speaking of AI, how is AI impacting the world of knowledge creators, right? I know Giovanna just dove into that, but like, how is AI actually positively impacting how AI creators are doing well? I mean, how just knowledge creators are doing?
I mean, my ADHD is rampant and I can't get anything done, and I personally am not using medication for it, just for a lot of reasons, but the way it has helped me rough draft, I'm a horrible rough drafter. I can't get myself to sit down and do the thing. I try to pump out a final draft and the newsletter's got to come out the next day. Like it's just not the right process. But now I can use any of the AI tools to get me really incredible rough drafts. And I'm even trying to train ChatGPT on my voice. I just gave it like a whole bunch of future social essays and then put in social media case studies on like various award shows. It's like, try to write this like me. Like, I want to see what you can do. It probably gets 60% of the way there, which saves me so much time. Like, I don't open up 40 tabs while I'm writing anymore because I have something to focus on. Like, it has been absolute game changer. Like, there will never be an issue of my newsletter that's fully written by AI. 0% chance. I just will never do that. But it gets me really far.
That's great. I love that. Anything else being done with how AI is impacting knowledge creators?
I agree that it really helps to stay organized and structured. And that's, I think, the main use case for what I see in creators. And in addition to what Giovanna mentioned today, human connection, that's what the audience expect from the creator. So I see that's the amazing way to use AI. Structure, organize everything, and leave energy and time to connect. Because also, I feel like there's so much information in internet, the audience is not uninformed. They need creator to structure everything for them. They need a role model and leader. It's not that information is not available. It is actually available, a lot of it. But people sometimes just need a leader to help.
That's really important to say because I was going to talk about how creators are structuring knowledge together. Yesterday, I was talking to Ms. Abigail Pumphrey, who's here, and she was saying how like all of her, she has a lot of podcasts and stuff and YouTube videos, whatever. There's a lot of, all her knowledge and stuff is out there, but she's been able to kind of repackage it into a paid product and bring all that knowledge in one place because she's curating that knowledge, she's curating that. And so I do agree, like, yeah, we have so much knowledge in our hands, but we would tune into someone who's distilling it because we like the way they do it, we like their personality. Like curators and tastemakers matter, and I think they're knowledge creators themselves as well, which is great. So
I also think it's expanding our reach. I think, as you saw, we talked about Hotmart, our parent company. I think that's given us a unique lens into the global creator economy. And I think as creators continue to grow and conquer their audience in the US, I think they're going to start looking at new markets. And you can use AI for subtitle generation. There's voice dubbing, so you can start to educate above and beyond just the people who are coming to you. Or you may have a global reach right now, and part of your community can't get access to your knowledge in the language that you speak, but you can expand that using AI as well. So I think it's going to expand reach as well.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people worry it's replacing you. What it can actually do is scale you. Like the amount of extra things you can produce because now you have a team that probably costs you $15 a month on ChatGPT. Like it is like, play with it, ask it lots of questions. Say like, how can you help my business? What can you make for me? Because if you start learning how to repurpose your content through AI, oh my gosh, like suddenly your content calendar is full for a whole other year. You haven't done anything.
It's really important. I just Claude, if there's any Claude users here, amazing. They now connect to like Gmail and your Google Drive. And from a scalability standpoint, or even knowledge standpoint, like asking it what newsletters have come through my inbox, and what are some key topics that I should be made aware of from those, and we'll go through your inbox and pull key topics from the newsletters you subscribe to if you don't want to read them. But I also asked it to like surface me like the most pressing emails pertaining to brand deals or other community stuff, and it pulls all those emails. So AI is helping creators scale, not just knowledge creators, but from across all spaces. We do want to open it up for a brief Q&A, but I have a final question to wrap it down the line. In 5 years, let me read it here so I get it wrong. Complete the sentence. 5 years from now, the most successful creators will be the ones who
Bet on education.
Who stayed authentic and organized.
Own something off of social.
I think just drive value.
drive value. All right, we love it. All right, amazing. I want to give a huge round of applause for our panelists.